First reading is from Psalm 104. There is the sea, vast and spacious, teeming with creatures beyond number, living things, both large and small. There the ships go to and fro, and Leviathan, which you formed to frolic there. All creatures look to you to give them their food at the proper time. When you give it to them, they gather it up. When you open your hand, they are satisfied with good things. When you hide your face, they are terrified. When you take away their breath, they die and return to dust. When you send your spirit, they are created, and you renew the face of the ground. And the second reading from Isaiah 24. The earth dries up and withers. The world languishes and withers. The heavens languish with the earth. The earth is defiled by its people. They have disobeyed the laws, violated the statutes, and broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore, a curse consumes the earth. Its people must bear the guilt. Therefore, earth's inhabitants are burned up, and very few are left. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. My name is Millie Harrison, and I'm part of the youth here at Sunnyside. It's lovely to be here, helping to lead the service this morning, and I hope we will all feel encouraged to take another step in tackling climate change, both personally and as a community. So, when I was first approached by Luke to do this a couple of weeks ago, my first reaction was no. I am too young and inexperienced a Christian to speak in front of the congregation. So I told him I would think about it, which really meant I had no intention of agreeing to do this, but I don't quite know how to say no now. But as the week went on, I began to ask myself, am I wasting an opportunity to speak about something I'm passionate about and step outside my faith comfort zone? As many of you will remember, Jane said last Sunday, we are all being called to care for God's creatures and that we all have a role in this. So I invite you to ask yourself, what is your role in caring for God's creation, and are you fulfilling this? We all have places that are special to us, where we feel closer to nature and our Creator. Take a moment to think of this place. Wherever this is for you, whether it be the mountains or a rocky coastline, I think we can all agree that this is a world of awe-inspiring beauty, a world that God has created teeming with life, full of diversity, abundance, and colour. In Psalm 104, which Pam read for us so well today, and in Genesis 1, we are shown that we have been given the responsibility for every living thing on this planet, including each other. This isn't a responsibility we can ignore, and as followers of Jesus, through whom all things were made, we should be at the forefront of protecting and restoring his creation. And to do this, we must meet the huge and urgent challenge that is the climate crisis. We are seeing the outworking of a global system built on greed and overconsumption, one that is fundamentally at odds with God's original intention for the world. The Bible shows that God, people, and the natural world are deeply interconnected. If one aspect of those relationships is broken, everything will be impacted. We learn in Genesis 1 that originally in God's creation, everything was in harmony. as it says, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food, and to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it. I give every green plant for food. And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. However, after the fall, this harmonious relationship between God, man, and creation was broken. As we see in Genesis 3, cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. Our greed and overconsumption also contributes to climate change. We have subtly changed from a developed world who kept their possessions, repairing them when they went wrong, to today's society where everyone wants the newest iPhone, flashiest car, and throws things away instead of repairing them or reusing them. We have an appetite for cheap food and clothes from around the world without thinking about the impact on the environment and people in the developing world. Climate change also disproportionately affects the poor and vulnerable, those already most at risk today, by amplifying hunger and poverty and increasing risks of resource scarcity that can exacerbate political instability and even create or worsen the refugee crisis. For example, in the news we hear about the increasing flooding caused by seawater intrusion as the seawater levels rise in Bangladesh, forcing people to leave their traditional subsistence way of life and take on grueling, low-paid work in crowded cities. These are the very people we are called as Christians to prioritise. The Bible is full of references to God's heart and compassion to the poor and needy. This is shown by Proverbs chapter 31, where it says, defend the rights of the poor and needy, and James chapter 1, where we are instructed to look after orphans and widows in their distress and keep oneself from being polluted by the world. As individuals and as a community of faith, we need to think about what we can do to reduce our impact on the environment and look after this beautiful creation that God has created for all people to enjoy. I hope as a result of this service, we will all identify some practical steps we can take to reduce our impact on the environment and discover our role in tackling the climate crisis. By caring for the environment, we not only care for creation in our world, but we care for each other and can worship God through this work. I would like to end with a prayer from Tear Fund. Creator God, thank you for the beauty of your creation, teeming with life. Thank you for the ways you've designed all things to work. We pray for your whole creation as it suffers and groans, and we pray for those who are vulnerable to the impacts of the climate crisis. We pray for leaders in governments and businesses around the world to take bold steps towards tackling this climate crisis. Guide us in raising our voices and living differently to bring justice to this situation. Amen. Thank you.